Good morning from Thailand. Hello, my English viewers. As you remember, I'm Christian and I'm German. And so I try to do the best about my English that you can understand it all. So I want to start with my portfolio that I founded on the 30 December of 2022. So here we go. And I started with 100,000 euro. Now I have stocks and gold for 83,000 and 22,000 is still the cash. And I started with 100,000. Now we are at 105,000. The last days had been really nice on stock exchange. So I'm just lucky with the start at the moment. Okay, in the last video, I showed you the alphabet and the numbers of alphabet. Today, I will show you the Anheuser Busch. And the Anheuser Busch is the biggest brewery in the world. More than every third beer is coming from Anheuser Busch worldwide. There are some brands like Budweiser, Stella Artois, Corona, German beers like Beck's or Franziskaner is owned by Anheuser-Busch too. So I want to start to look at the numbers of Anheuser-Busch, and that's why I show you the next graphic. Here you can see in the red style, the belts, this is the revenue of the company, and the blue line is the price of the stock of Anheuser-Busch. And yeah, we see really, it's amazing. It's a really nearly a fast growing company. Was it in the past in 2001? We had a revenue around 4.8 billion US dollar, and now the last revenue that we have is 57 billion US dollar, and this is a new record high. So we see the stock had some problems starting 2016. This was the top, and we saw relatively the stock was moving with the revenues. When the revenues grow, the stock was growing. There was also the financial crisis. This was different. Here we had a crash about the financial crisis 2008. The stock came down from 66 to in the low to 12. So you see what is possible on stock exchange, great losses and great gains. And after it went up from 12 euro in the top to 114. Also it was a 10 bagger if you bought this stock in the financial crisis 2009 and sold it 2016. That's great. That's great. So, but now we have more horrible times with the stock because it was coming down since 2016 from 125 now to 57 euros, around that, 57.44. And even the revenues are growing in the last quarters. But okay, this company, the beer brewing company, was absolutely loser from COVID because there have been no football games, no music festivals, everything in the public was closed. So the revenue in beer went down. We see this here in the 2020. But now we have 6 quarters and the revenue is going up again, and we have here a new record high. This is 57 billion compared to 56.6 billion before. So the company never sold more beer in its history than today, but the stock is still more than the half of the price. So that makes the stock really attractive. But also to explain, 2016 they bought SAB Miller. We see this here, and after the revenues from SAB Miller come inside, and they had to take a big debt for this transaction. It was around 100 billion US dollar to pay. This was one of the biggest deals in the history. And so it's always the same. If you spend a lot of money for a new business, it takes time until everything's run. So we are still in this process that the debt was so high, they had to lower the debt, and so many problems for the company to get the benefits from the deal. And one thing is also clear, the stocks is falling since 2016. So now we're in the seventh year or in the sixth year of falling stock prices. So no one likes stocks that is falling since more than 5 years. That's typically, but they are the best. This is almost the best time if the company is healthy to look for a buy. So that's what I did on 30 December this year, last year. And yeah, we see also, maybe I can go in the numbers why I like this company also more. Wait a moment. So here it is. Here we go. As here we have the balance sheets of Anheuser Busch, and here we see the revenue growth from 2015 to 2021, and what we saw also in the graph before. What is very, very interesting is the operating result of Anheuser Busch, because with 47 billion, they make an operating profit of 12 billion. That's really, really, really big. And I don't know any other company from the consumer business, from the food business, drinking business, that have a better margin than Anheuser Busch, and we see that here. The EBITDA margin is 32.8% at the moment for the last year, 2021, and we had much more higher margins in the past, around 38, 39%. Now the 2021 was at 32. So this is because of COVID. If you don't have the revenue same before, but you have similar costs, so your margin is going down. And we see also here the jump. This was 2016. This is the jump in the equity ratio, also in the debt. So this is 151% of the total equity was debt. You see this here, 77 was the capital to 116 billion debt, and they had to pay back, and now they are at 112% over the last years. This is a quite good number now. From nearly 70 total equity to debt 78, that are healthy numbers. And I think they will go on to take back the debt more. And we see this also in the dividends that they paid. The highest dividend was 2017. This was also the best year, or 2016 in profit. They paid a lot of dividends, 1.46 and 1.16. So that's quite good. And now they went down to just 35 cents in the whole year. And that is really nothing. This is less than 1%, but it's good for the company, because if they don't pay out to the shareholders, then they can accelerate the debt to bring down the debt of the business, so they are ready for more transactions in the future like that. So that's absolutely positive to see. And yeah. Also, if we compare the price earning is at the moment on 18. Nestle is around 24, 25. So it's also compared to the valuation of the stock. It's not really super cheap, but a price earning of 18 for a stock that comes out from the crisis, the COVID crisis, is still cheap, because before they had been able to make more profit. So we see the best years, the profit was here 4.65, 4.65, 4.11, and then we see in the COVID time 2020 less than a euro, and now it recovered last year to €2. And now we think that this year, the analysts think that this year will be a profit per share from €3.10. So that's why we talk about a price earning of 18 compared to a stock price from 57. But what is very interesting is the market cap of Anheuser Busch. It's around 113 billion euro. And if we look on the cash flow numbers, that's really amazing because the free cash flow is the real thing that comes more money in a company in comparison what goes out. So we see here the free cash flow in 2021 had been 8 billions. So if I compare to the 113 billions, it's around 7% of the capital. And 2020, the free cash flow had been 13 billion. That's nearly 10% of what the company costs today when we look at the 113,000 market capitalization, what we have here. So on the comparison with the free cash flow, Anheuser Busch is much more attractive than we just look on the price earnings per share. That's really, really good. So I was thinking also if I take Anheuser Busch or not, and I was looking also on the numbers of Nestle, and that's really interesting because let's jump to Nestle. So if we look on Nestle, we see maybe I make also a chart of the revenues. We see Nestle have no growth in the revenues. Yeah, there is no growth in the revenue since 2001, since 20 years. They had been over 100 billion. Now they are at 84 billion. And also the operating result is more up. Yes, but also the last year it was stable. A good thing is that Nestle have is they always was buying back their own shares. We see this. So it went down in 2007 or 2005 from 3.88 billion stocks now to around 2.788 billion. This means they bought back around 23-24% of all outstanding shares. So the profit comes to less shares. So this means why the profit per share was growing. But I don't know. It's stable. It's stable, the business. But the only thing what they did was buy back the shares, but they did not invest in growing business. The profit margin was a little bit growing up, because they sold some sections, they bought some sections with a higher profitability. I forget this. Very, very, yeah. And here we see the EBITDA margin. This is around 19.9% and compared to 32-33% of Anheuser Busch. So it's also much more than this one. And the market cap is 306 billion Swiss franc, is similar to the euros of Anheuser Busch. So the worth of Nestle on stock exchange is 3 times higher than the price of Anheuser Busch. And if we take a look here also to the free cash flow, then we see the free cash flow was 9 billion in 2021. This was nearly 8 billion for Anheuser Busch. And in 2020, it was 8 billion. Anheuser Busch was 13 billion. So they are really, really comparable about the free cash flow. But you pay the triple price for Nestle than for Anheuser Busch. So, and I think that Nestle not have a really, really special story now about the future growth. They also have a high price earning like 23, 24. So this is really, there is nearly a limit So I think the stock of Nestle will not outperform over the next years, but for Anheuser Busch, I think there is still a good chance that they can outperform because the stock is still cheap. I told you the reasons why, and so I believe that Anheuser Busch have really the potential to grow up because the margins can improve more. They can come back to 38, 39%. This means the profits can go up 20, 25% with the same business. I also believe in the inflation that we have all around the world at the moment, that Anheuser-Busch will be able to put the inflation into the beer prices. Maybe they can higher the beer prices more because it's oligopoly situation. More than every third year they sell in the world. So they have the power to make the prices, and other breweries will follow for sure. So that's also good when you have a price setting power, and Anheuser-Busch has it. So yeah, and the stock is the consumption stocks. They are all more safe because the business is safe. They not depend too much on the economy cycles. COVID was a bad thing for sure. No one expected it, but this was bad because the beer consumption went down, and now it's coming up again. And normally the stock Anheuser-Busch should come out of this with more power, with more strength in everything. So I believe in that stock. I think also if we not have any big things, a crash or a big more bass, or the world is imploding or exploding, I think the stock will be stable, a minimum, but I think it has the potential to the next 1, 2 years. I think €80 like that. And on the long run, I also think we will make new highs in the stock price. This means I see stock prices over 125 and more on the long run. But this is a longer time. But I am a long-term investor. I don't want to change too much the companies. You will see this in the future. And yes, I hope you could take some ideas. And this is not any recommendation to you. It's just I always tell what I do with my own money, where I invest, and that's what I'm talking about. You can do whatever you want, but I'm not responsible for anything. This must be clear, and I can be completely mad and be completely wrong on my opinion, and no one knows the future, and me too. So the next stock that I will show will be Barry Gold. In my next video, Barry Gold is a completely different stock from Anheuser Busch or Alphabet that I showed before. So it's a completely cyclic stock. We are there in the cyclic business. It depends to 100% on the gold price. So if the gold price is not going up, there will be no chance for the shares of Barry Gold and to outperform. So, but I believe in the gold price because the affection of the inflation was always in the past that in the end the gold prices went up. And yeah, we had the high in 2011 in the gold price. It was around 2000 US dollar. Now we are under this level. So 11 years we not saw new highs, and I think there will be new highs in the gold market. And it depends also how the inflation scenario is going on. Now the experts expecting that there will be a slowdown in the inflation, but who knows? We spend so much money in the COVID times, government spending. So we don't know the inflation can come back in the future, can come back more hard. So it's always good to have some gold mines and gold in the portfolio. And yeah, in the next video, I will talk more about Barry Gold. Thank you for today, for watching me, and have a nice day and best greetings from Thailand. Bye-bye.